Guys, we are so excited to share our epic trip around Japan with you. Since taking a break from full-time travel after reaching our goal of visiting 100 countries together last year, this was our first real big trip in 2023.
While it started out pretty rough, which we'll show you in a second, it only got better from there. And after this trip, we can confidently say that Japan has shot up from a country we like to a country we absolutely love, claiming a spot in our top 10 countries to visit.
Oh, what a day. We flew separately to Japan because I was reviewing some flights for my other channel, Oskar Dan, and we both ended up having one of the roughest travel days of our lives.
Oh my god. Dan and I are flying separately to Japan, so he's arriving later today and we're going together to Osaka. So I flew in yesterday. It was a red eye, so I went to sleep pretty much straight away. And I slept for maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours. And then I wake up and I just feel like, what is going on? I feel so nauseous all of a sudden. And after just spending like a few seconds in the bathroom, there's no stopping. What's gonna happen? Like, I went to the bathroom at least once every half hour. So disgusting. Food poisoning on a flight? 0 out of 10. Would not recommend. And then finally, as I get on the train, Dan gets like Wi-Fi on his flight, so we can start texting, and I tell him about what happened. Turns out he's also having food poisoning on his flight.
Well, I feel terrible. Okay. I am so ready for bed.
I cannot tell you the relief I felt when I got to the hotel. I took a bath, actually. In this bathtub, by the way, this is definitely Japanese size. Everything in this hotel room, by the way, is Japanese size. So funny, like this table is probably, I don't know, like 20 centimeters wide or something. Still feeling a little nauseous today. Unfortunately, we'll see what I can eat. Okay, this is my first recovery meal. Bakari sweat. I actually found some inari sushi. I'm so happy about this. With that out of the way, let's skip to the good part. Sorry, can't say that anymore without hearing that in my head. But anyway, let's meet up and fly to Osaka. Guess who's here?
We completely forgot to vlog. We were just so excited to see each other. We've been together for like over
like 5 minutes.
Now. Okay, we'll talk later. We're not feeling super well. Maybe we'll vlog more tomorrow.
We'll see. But the one thing that we've been talking about right now is we love Japanese people so much. We don't deserve them.
We're having our first onigiris while waiting for the train. We're just so tired and delirious. We just have barely eaten anything lately, so...
Lately. Hopefully tomorrow we can reset.
Oh my god! It's morning. We're feeling so much better today.
We're feeling the spring vibes today.
Yeah, soaking in the spring joy. Although, why are these leaves already brown in the middle of the street? Is it
Maybe
fall?
they're turning green? I don't know.
We are walking around Osaka for the first time in daylight. It feels just amazing, and we're heading to have lunch. Actually, with the girl from our group trip to Morocco. We're so excited to see her again. We just happen to have a few hours overlapping here, and then we're heading to our first real stop of the trip. We know apartments in Japan are small, but this building, I'm struggling to imagine that I could even lay down in this building in this direction and not hit my head.
We're spending a little over a week here in the Keihanshin area. I'll tell you a little bit more about what this area is in a second, but it's really cool. This is actually our first time being in another really huge metropolitan area in Japan other than Tokyo. We've been to the countryside as well before. I lived in a little place called Hakuba, and that was an amazing experience, but it's really cool to get to see another side of Japan now. Japan's second largest metropolitan area after Tokyo is made up of the cities Osaka, Kobe, Kyoto, and a few other smaller cities. Together, they form what's called the Keihanshin region, which is home to more than 19 million people. For our first 8 days in Japan, we'd spend time in the cities of Kyoto, Nara, and Osaka before heading south to Hiroshima and Fukuoka. From there, we would do something very exciting, catch a boat up to Busan in South Korea before flying home from our former home city of Seoul. This parking garage is so cool, it's next level. They seem to have elevators for all the cars, so you can park at street level and then it will literally like race up your car.
I would never.
And we found a vegan bakery. This neighborhood is like a very hipster type neighborhood, it feels like. And everything, like every single store has a name either in French or Italian.
Oh my god, Oscar, I see carrot cake.
What do you
Carrot
have?
cake vegan, it's all vegan. I love that we can find places like this. Obviously, we can't always have local pastries and stuff like that as vegans. So to find a place like this that is also full, by the way, but they don't even have any seating left, was just so amazing. Can't wait to try.
So we're just casually gonna sit underneath a Sakura tree and have our cakes.
And eat a Sakura flavored donut. What is even Sakura flavor?
We're about to find out.
We got a matcha ichigo or something.
Cake.
And a carrot cake, which is obviously not Japanese, but this is perfect to have after you've had food poisoning, you know?
Yeah. It's an interesting flavor.
I don't know if it has so much of a unique flavor as much as just a delicious flavor. Like, it's a slightly floral and fruity donut, but it's so good. Not you standing here for so long. Oh no.
This is Serena. You might remember her from Morocco.
Well, she doesn't have a bunch of sand in her face like in the desert. So I got an Omni Pork Teriyaki burger. And Oscar
That was
got a
healthier, and I got the tempeh burger.
teriyaki also.
Teriyaki mayo, yes. And Serena was the healthiest of all of us.
She had Loco Moco.
Loco Moco cheese ball.
So we said goodbye to Serena. It was so fun to see her. We had some delicious cakes, oh my god. And now we're walking back to our hotel where we are gonna catch a train to our next stop, the main first stop of the trip.
Getting on the subway for the first time in Osaka.
We're just on our way back to our hotel. We saw this, which we've never seen anywhere in the world before. The pumps are hanging from the ceiling of the petrol station.
I headed to the station, quite a bit of a walk, but we don't have that much luggage today. So traveling light.
Yeah, it feels like this is just something you see in every single vlog from Japan. People walking long distances with their bags to get to the train. Another reason to love Japan, when people approach you, especially men, they're not trying to sell you something, they're just trying to help. There was a man who approached Oscar and we were like, oh, what's going on? He wanted to show the instructions on how to find the train, and he literally took us there, pointed the way and everything, and that was all. He didn't want anything in return. Wow, we're so grateful for that man's help, but even with it, the train system here is extremely confusing as a foreigner because nothing is in English. So it's just really an adventure trying to figure it out. Luckily, we're not in a rush, which is really the key.
We didn't get any JR passes this time, like no train passes to get unlimited rides, because we realized it was not going to be worth it with our itinerary. So we're kind of getting single tickets all the time now. And the reason is that mainly since we're staying within this area for so long, all the local trains are so cheap, so it just isn't worth it to get a rail pass because they're pretty expensive. Like this ticket from Osaka to Kyoto is only 570 yen, and it's a pretty long ride. Is massive.
We don't often think about, like, it's so easy when you're traveling in Asia and you're from Europe to think that a small city is a small city, when in fact this small city has 3 times as many people as our big city, which is the second biggest city in all of Sweden.
And we arrived just in time for sunset. So last leg of the trip to the hotel, we're taking a taxi because we simply can't be bothered at this point. We've been pushing it the last few days anyway, so now we're getting a taxi for the last bit. And it's so funny the way it comes across when they're like, we welcome foreigners in some of the taxis. It's like, I understand it's because not all taxi drivers understand or speak English. We definitely got one of the most retro taxis on offer.
I love it.
I love this lace moment going on right here.
Wow guys, we just checked into the Hyatt Regency here in Kyoto and it's making me very emotional just because we haven't traveled in so many months, and before that, well, disregarding New Zealand, we had a lot of tough trips back to back, and I'm just trying to remember that actually there's so many amazing moments in travel that can come when you travel to a country that is very touristy. You know, a lot of people visit it. It just makes it very easy to go there. Sometimes people want to, I want to go off the beaten path, but going on the beaten path is often the much more relaxing and easy thing to do. And just also trying to remind ourselves not to work all the time, because being able to travel and not have to think about work is like a completely different thing. But for us, they're intertwined. So yeah, I'm just sitting here watching the sunset and soaking up the moment. Curry time. So we're at a Japanese curry house chain and we are obsessed.
This is the best thing ever. So we have a customize your own curry page. So first you can choose whichever type of curry you want. Then you get to choose the quantity of rice down to the 50th gram, down to 50 grams increments. And then spice level.
I love that the price increases the spicier you want it.
We don't need to go too spicy. I guess in Japan maybe we need
select your spice level, select your mild level. What's that?
Mild flavor can be added if you prefer very mild flavor. What is that? The mildness preferred by children. The mildness bathes your taste buds. I love.
Not for the faint-hearted. Consider the consequences.
Only those who have eaten an entire serving of level 5 can order at these levels.
That's so cute.
Wow.
Look, you get some pickled radish, I think, water.
And a very unique Japanese experience. We're so excited to share the rest of our fascinating, fun, and educational trip around Japan in our upcoming videos. From riding the country's fastest bullet train and cuddling with cute deer in Nara, to taking a ferry between Japan and Korea and learning about the horrific history of Hiroshima, this trip was filled with incredible highlights and new favorite travel moments. Until you hear from us again, see you around the world.